Okay, guys, let's review our first tournament draft. I believe it's at least the first one, and I'm actually really happy with this one. Did this one a while ago, and I think things have changed. We'll talk about some of the changes to like ADPs that I'm seeing more recently and everything like that. But had the second pick in the draft. I think I had a plan for this one. In fact, I think there's a video for like with CeeDee Lamb, what do you do? And I totally didn't do what I was expecting to do. If this was that draft, I think, with this draft, considering CeeDee Lamb was supposed to get Pepper, or supposed to get Pepper so many targets, try to pair him with Dak. And really, it's the only time that I'm probably targeting Dak. And guess what? I didn't end up with Dak. I tried to push him around and it didn't work, basically, I think is what I did on this one. But what I'm happy about is I'm strong at wide receiver. I got some heavy correlation. I got a nice amount of like bringbacks throughout the weeks. Didn't reach crazy, but went and got my guys for the most part where I should and everything. So I got three stacks going on, or like three stacks with quarterbacks going on, I should say. And then I got a couple of things going on. So first off, we just throw the first pick, Lamb. I did end up pairing with my last pick, Brooks, and so he's one of those players that he could be the third or maybe even the second wide receiver, or it could be the fourth or the fifth. So who knows? Maybe something happens there, maybe not. With Evans, I ended up with all of the receivers, but nothing else in Tampa Bay. So I got Evans, Godwin, and down here I have Jalen McMillan over here too. So I got the top three Tampa Bay Buccaneers also. Now, one of the interesting things here that I did with this draft, and when I took them a little earlier than maybe ADP. I'm seeing they moved up, and this is kind of where they're at based on ADP as well now. So it's probably happening more often, and maybe other people were looking at it the same way I was, and maybe that's some bad group think. Maybe it's good. I don't know. But basically, if you look at this, Dallas plays Tampa Bay in the which week? The second week of the playoffs, week 16, and then Dallas plays Philly in which week in week 17, so in the championship week. So I kind of just was like, I don't know, I don't really care who I get here for the most part. Waddle's already taken; he's the one I'd probably going for. So I end up with just three guys that are all going to be kind of playing each other a little bit, or some of them would play each other at least. Tampa Bay, no, they won't. Okay, so then here I end up with Higgins, and I ended up pairing Higgins with Burrow and Zach Moss. So I have a nice stack there with one of his top two receivers, and then maybe his first or second running, but hopefully his starting running back for the season in this league at least, right? And he can catch some passes. You don't know how many he's going to catch, but he can catch some passes. And then I ended up taking Kincaid here just as my tight end. Didn't really do anything with him. Doesn't really correlate with anything at all. Cincinnati doesn't really correlate with anything either, other than just having a nice little stack going there. And then I got this really late Panthers stack too. I got Brooks, and then I got Leggett, Hubbard, Young, and Sanders. So I have a bunch of the late Panthers. I kind of like the Panthers. I think it's fun, some of these players, especially when you can get Brooks to start it off. And, if Brooks goes, does everyone else go type of thing? Or maybe no one else goes but Brooks. Who knows? But I do think that's fun to if you need something to grab the Panthers. I keep on hearing about, the Patriots and about the Broncos, which are fine. I think there's something to be said for the Panthers. Does Bryce Young partnered with the QB guru end up doing something pretty darn spectacular as a former number one pick? I'm placing a bet on it. And on top of that, Carolina plays Tampa Bay in week 17. So that's a pretty sweet little bring back there. And they play Dallas in week 15, which I got again two players too. So digging that. I ended up taking Ty Chandler right here. I think I don't know exactly why I took Ty Chandler right here. I think I did it mainly because I knew I needed another running back based on just kind of who I had. and who I was going to target later on, I needed to just kind of like get it now or maybe never get it. So I ended up with Chandler, no correlation. And then I have this, I skipped it here, but I got this Washington stack as well. Ended up getting Jaden Daniels really late, and I paired him with Brian Robinson right before that. I was able to do that because he had Love already, and I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't take another quarterback this early. He didn't. So I ended up with Robinson, Daniels, and then Sinnott down here. Wouldn't mind getting Luke McCaffrey instead of Sinnott, but whatever, it's okay. Anything left? I ended up getting Roschon Johnson here. I kind of like the late round Bears just because Swift isn't getting the end zone the goal line carries most likely just from what he's done recently. And I think both the Bears are potential exciting plays if Swift goes down. And so instead of kind of drafting Swift at a pretty high ADP overall, if you can get these Bears late, I think they're interesting plays. And he was a little bit past where I've gotten in the past, so I went and stole him there. And then we already went over these players. So a lot of correlation on this team overall. Like it. I mean, there's a week 15 Minnesota Chicago if you but I didn't really keep that in mind at all when I did this. So favorite pick on this entire team, I think my favorite pick is the Hubbard pick right here. I want to say that I took him earlier than his ADP if I'm not mistaken, but I think it ties this team together. I talked about it, I think, when I drafted. I'm pretty sure there's a video about that one too. But I ended up here. The reason why I like it so much is because this team, I think, is built for the playoffs, the way that it's correlated and everything. I got to make it to the playoffs, though. And with my running backs the way they are, I drafted my first running back in round 8, which I like doing this. Moss falling this far is pretty sweet. I think he actually falls farther sometimes though too, but I don't have as much of a grasp on these tournaments right now as I do the sit and goes. But I did hit this running back third hard in this draft here, and you can see a couple other teams did too. In fact, as we're looking at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two teams knew it was up as far as that goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So wow, there's a bunch of teams here that really kind of hit it hard as far as those running backs go. We might look at these two teams, see how they did. So favorite pick, Hubbard, because it ensures that I hopefully have a starter, assuming Miles Sanders isn't really in play, that I have a starter to start the season, and can Brooks carry me to end the season? That's kind of the hope. So I think I have a nice mixture on this team of starting play and ending play. A bunch of receivers to get me at the beginning. So my receivers are a bunch of receivers to get me at the beginning. I got a running back for the beginning, a running back hopefully through the whole thing, running back for the end, combined with the running back for the beginning. I got a quarterback for the beginning and a quarterback for the end. Some other running backs here that are late season stashes, potentially in Chandler, Roschon Johnson. I got some relatively high upside correlation, or not high upside, but dart throw correlation, I should say, in Brooks, McMillan, and Sanders. I got 3 tight ends with 1 stud. You don't really need 3 tight ends, but it kind of made sense because, again, I have the Carolina stuff going, so grab this one as well. So a lot of late and early round stuff. My least favorite pick, I don't really have a pick that I don't like on this team for the most part. But talk about more late round stuff. Maybe Leggett comes on late as well as a rookie for Carolina. Maybe they got Deontay Johnson and what's his name? What's his face? To start the season, then he comes on in the second half of the season and really brings it home. That'd be pretty sweet if that happened. If the other guy's name comes Adam Thielen, if maybe Adam Thielen being, but then maybe Leggett at the end of the season. Least favorite pick, I don't have. I mean, my least favorite pick is probably like the Sinnott pick right here. overdrafted early. I was guilty of it just because I wasn't getting him at all, and I wanted him in a league. And then all of a sudden, found myself having him too much. Better than Gesicki right here, though. I don't know what's up with that. In fact, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Those two picks right there. So I'll take Ben Sinnott over those two. But probably my least favorite pick, him right here. That being said, if I don't take him here, I don't know what I do really. So not my favorite pick, but not bad, just bad ADP. And so is actually the other thing that other players fallen a lot is Burrow. Burrow's going like another round or round and a half later in these drafts a lot of times now. So that's okay though. It'll work with my team really well. Let's match it up to some teams that have similar draft structures as me. We got two right here, 3-6-8-3, 3-6-8-3, and 3-6-8-3. So let's just compare to these two. Then I think we're gonna go over here and look at these ones actually. I have not looked at these teams at all. Lots of running backs on this team here, 7. So actually, first thing I see right away is we totally built this differently. We all have 6 running backs, but they have 4 in the first 7 rounds, and they have 4 in the first 8 rounds. This looks like what I was doing when we looked at my other draft where my teams fell apart and couldn't compete, where I just had too many running backs to begin with. They ended up with 1, 2, 3 wide receivers through 10. They ended up with 1, 2, 3 wide receivers through 10 as well. So I mean, right there, I think if you guys kind of seen anything that I've been showing and agree with any of it, you'd agree with me that probably way too running back heavy, and they're gonna have to have a lot of things work out for them to win. I've done this, and I've listen to people that are smarter than me. I'm not sure if this is smart or not. Now he did able to get Tua, so that's nice. He's got Mostert out here as well, so he's super heavy into Miami. And the problem is that if they're sometimes you're like, well, it's nice to have both in case they ping pong. Like one does good, then the other one does good, then one does good, then the other one does good. But when you only have 3 wide receivers through 10, you're kind of relying on both of them to do good. He doesn't have Wicks here, which is an interesting play, but I don't know if you can, and Franklin, which is also kind of an interesting play here. But I don't know if you can really rely on this team. Bourne, even at the end, I guess, with his build, not bad either. But I don't know if you can, if we're ping ponging, you're maybe in trouble with this team. They got more Samuel than Rice, so he's got his third guy suspended, and then he's down to Jacoby Myers, which is kind of scary as your number 3. And this is super scary as like your number 4. Like, I don't know, in trouble. Let's go over here. I'm interested with these two teams here at the end that took during the, if we look at the, starting in the 8th round. Come on. They went, these two teams here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They were just hammering those running backs through right here. 5 and 7, so they went a different route as far as number, less than more than me. But let's see. So that's interesting here right away. He's got 7, and he's the one that's got Saquon Barkley at the beginning. You see this often where whoever gets the Philly guy here gets the running back and then gets the QB. So not surprised to see that right there. Not a fan of the Ferguson pick right here. What I was kind of experimenting, and maybe it's different in these ones, but what I was experimenting Sit Goes was end up taking Goddard, right? And maybe make it a 3 tight end build with Goddard as your number 1 tight end. Where does Goddard go in this one? He goes right here. So if you don't take Ferguson here, you can get anything you want. And then what do you pass on it? Where's Goddard's right here? I guess you lose out on Benson or Spears, which were players during that running back window right there. So, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. It's not bad. Maybe I'm just salty because I couldn't pair Ferguson with CD. Not really. Ended up with Burrow here, which is fine in my Cincy stack. But he's got 1, and then he waited at least until round 9 for his next one, which is nice. He's got 2 guys here that are going to get a good amount of playing time, most likely. And then he has his upside plays here in Benson and Charbonnet. And then Bucky Irving is a nice play as well. So he did a good job, I think, of trying to go for a hero RB strategy. I like it. I like it. He's got 7 running backs. Estimate the very end is nice as well. I mean, with Bo Nix right there too, and Marvin Mims. So he did the whole Denver thing, which is nice. Good for him as far as that goes. Um, um he's got 2 and Jonnu Smith here. Like he's got a lot of players that are, kind of the sleeper type players that people like for the most part. He took that's Burton was one of the players that I was kind of interested in because I had the the Cincy stack, but oh well, he took him there. Geno Smith with Zach Charbonnet and DK Metcalf. So he's highly correlated too with Philly, with Seattle. It's pretty correlated as well. And then he had a third QB down here. I think. Oh yeah, Bo Nix in Denver. So good on him too. Overall, I like the team. 7 running backs, but it's really 6 with 1 at the end, which is fine. This guy's only got 5 total, which is a little on the light side potentially, but let's take a look. He's got Javonte. See, Nick, when you take Nick Chubb as your second running back, I think you're in trouble a little bit because he's only got, he needs some of these players to do something early. He took all his players during this little running back third that I've called it. Not as big a fan of what he's got going on, just because if he didn't take Chubb here, but instead takes Singletary, I think he's got a better team. Just because Chubb's got the upside, but he needs a running back to get him there, and he's got plenty of upside here potentially in Miller, and then maybe Davis's upside, or maybe he's just like touchdown upside in any given week potentially. Who knows? But I'm not a fan of this Chubb pick in his build. Other than that, does he end up with Kyler Murray? He does. So he's highly correlated with Arizona. He's got Richardson with Downs. You don't even really need to take Downs there, I don't think. There's probably something you see. I don't think he should take Downs here. I think if he wants to take Chubb here, you take Ford here. I think that's what I'd be doing. And then you maybe hope that Downs goes here, or you just still take Miller. I don't think you really need to pair Richardson with Downs. You could just have him solo if you wanted to as well. Where does Xavier Legette go in this 80 Mitchell goes? He goes earlier, so that you're kind of down to that one there, unless you want their tight end. He does end up taking Parkinson at the end. That's odd. I don't know why he does that with Moore at the end too. He got Claypool over here. I feel like he could have correlated things at the end in ways that would have made sense. Get your Indianapolis tight end. If you're going to get like a, kind of a trash tight end for the most part that doesn't correlate, at least get a trash tight end that does correlate. So, and you got Daniel Jones here at the end, which I don't think you need when you draft 2 so early. Maybe how many tight ends does he have? Does he have 3? He's got 3, right? Yeah. I like this guy over here on the right, Snake, but Master Billy, not as much a fan. You never know what happens, but I think Snake's got more of a correlated build, like more strategy goes into it. Master's got a pretty good one too. I'm not saying I'm the best, but there's probably a lot of things that you can criticize on my team too. Overall, I think I'm happy with it. But I like what they did on both of them. I think that Master could made one little misstep here with the Chubb pick, or not really it's either the Chubb pick or the Downs pick, right? One of these is the mistake pick right there. Or you could even say like, okay, I really need Downs, and then you don't take Wandell here and take Gibson right here instead, or something like that. Give yourself that shot. He should have some play the whole season. That'd even be a better thing. So I just think he needs another running back based on him starting so late and then getting Chubb as his second one. He needs a way to ideally get running back points early in the season, and then hopefully Chubb comes on late and takes it home, or Miller comes, one of these guys, right? One of these two basically he's relying on. And he's hoping that Davis has some spike weeks. Okay, so there it is. I love my team. I think this team's, I like what they did overall with it. And I like what they started to do with a couple missteps. Not a fan of either of these two teams, just too much early running back and not a lot of anything else. Let me know what you think. What do you give it? A 7, an 8? Maybe 7 or 8? 7.5? I don't know. Please rate it. I'd love to see a comment. I got none. I'm begging for it. Not really. Talk to you. Peace.